Welcome aboard, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health, welcoming you to another live edition of Fire Your MD Now. Today's St. Patrick's Day. Faith in Begorra, don't you know? Good old St. Patty Day. Oh, don't you just love it? Me mum was a McCann, don't you know, so I have no problem speaking in an Irish accent. For goodness sake, I didn't even know I was Irish until I was in my early 20s because we just weren't brought up that way. It's interesting how different families have different views about that. In any event, hope you're well today, ladies and gentlemen. And if you stick with us, you're going to get better and better and better. Because we bring to the table science-based, clinically verified alternatives to drugs and surgery, not because there's anything wrong with drugs and surgery. When drugs and surgery are used appropriately, they are fantastic and they will save your life. But when drugs and surgery are used inappropriately, as they are most of the time in the management of chronic disease, nothing gets fixed. You just get better. Things get worse and worse and worse instead of getting better and better and better. And this is our stand. Our position based on fact is your MD, bless their hearts, does not know what's best for you. They only know what they've been trained in. What they've been trained in is just a tiny piece of the pie of medical science. It's a tiny piece of the pie of medical science. It doesn't work for chronic disease. The medical system in the United States doesn't need to be upregulated, downregulated, or tweaked in any way, shape, or form. It needs to be abandoned because it doesn't work. It doesn't work. If it worked, Alzheimer's would be getting less and less instead of more and more. High blood pressure would be getting less and less instead of more and more. Infertility would be getting less and less instead of more and more. Chronic disease would be getting less and less instead of more and more, and don't even get me started on cancer. But it's not. All of these things are getting worse, and the MDs, in an unbelievable sleight of hand trick, have convinced you that it's not their fault, it's your fault. You know, you've got the bad cancer gene. That's what you've got. It's only a matter of time until we discover it. Baloney. It's not you that has the problem. It's the methodology brought to bear on the genesis and the treatment of disease that the MD is trained in. And, you know, it's a problem because they don't see it, they can't see it, they're blind to it, and they don't even give a crap because they're not concerned, nor are they trained in how to make you well. They're trained in how to manage disease. And, you know, disease management at a certain point in time is an appropriate thing to do, but most of the time it's not. And this is a problem. When the medical monopoly, which exists in your country, I don't care what country you're listening from, I don't care if it's Cyprus, I don't care if it's Singapore, Taiwan, I don't care if it's Indonesia, I don't care if it's India, I don't care if it's Germany, I don't care if it's Luxembourg, I don't care where you're calling from, I don't care where you're listening from, Canada, the U.S., Mexico. The predominant system of medicine in the world today is MD-directed medicine. They don't let you have access to chiropractors or naturopaths or homeopaths or herbalists. They don't let you have access to any of this stuff through conventional methodology. Your insurance certainly doesn't pay for it. Your hospital certainly doesn't employ naturopathic doctors or homeopathic doctors. You've got to be kidding me. All you have access to is MD-directed medical stuff all of the time. And because they're everywhere all of the time, we just accept the fact that, oh, son of a gun, it's, it doesn't work. Well, I'm not getting the best results. It can't be my doctor's fault. That's just life. That's just the way that it is. And it's not. The reason that you're not getting results is because you went to an MD. I mean, for goodness sake, if you went to your high school swimming coach with a plumbing problem, you wouldn't expect a solution there either. Well, why not? The swimming coach works with water all day. Why can't he fix the plumbing? He works with water all day. Well, because it's a completely different thing. Your MD is trained in one tiny piece of the pie of medical science. It's medical science. It's water. It's medical science. But it's only one aspect of medical science. It's only good for certain things. The problem here is we go to the MD for everything, and it's killing us. But because they've monopolized the show, we don't know that there's another way, and we just think that that's life. Well, we have another way. And it's so unbelievably simple that most people can't possibly believe that it's true. They can't believe it's true. It can't be that easy, Dr. Glidden. It can't be. Well, guess what? It is. Because we've been hoodwinked by two medical myths in the world. Myth number one is that the MD is the exclusive owner of the domain of medicine and everybody else is a back-of-the-bus quack. It's nonsense. Medical myth number two, that healing is a complicated, sophisticated process which should only be attempted in multi-million-dollar, high-tech, super-scientific facilities. Nonsense. Surgery is complicated. Healing is easy. Healing is easy. Well, how can that be, Dr. G? Well, your body knows how to fix itself. Your body wants to fix itself. Your body is endowed with a God-given intelligence. Your body is regulating trillions of metabolic processes right now, all of which are outside of your conscious control, and it's taking care of it. Your body is taking care of business without your conscious control. Well, how can this possibly be happening? Because your body is endowed with a spiritual force. Your body is endowed with a soul force. I don't care what you want to call it. Some people call it the vital force. Some people call it the spirit. Some people call it the soul. I don't care what you call it. I just want you to recognize that there's something there. By the way, what is it that brings light to your dreams? Inquiring minds want to know. What is it that brings light to your dreams? Well, the MDs will tell you, oh, it's just scintillating biochemical things going on in your brain. Really? So your brain can create photons of light? Your brain can create light? How the heck does that happen? It doesn't happen. The MDs dodge questions that they can't understand and that they can't appreciate and that they can't possibly humanly answer inside of their methodology, so they'll dodge it. Leave you dangling. For goodness sake, the human body is endowed by an unseen spiritual force which is taking care of business without your conscious control. Your body grew itself all by itself from a single-celled organism into you. How the heck did that happen? Well, it happened through the conscious direction of the intelligence brought to bear by the spiritual force inside your body. And I'm not speaking about this in a religious context. This is not a religious conversion radio show. This has got nothing to do, nothing at all to do with religion. It has everything to do with what it means to be a human being, with the reality of what it is to be a human being. You have a body, you have a mind, you have a spirit or a soul, depending on your jargon. But, you know, the medical doctor is only trained to pay attention to your body, period. Your medical doctor, your psychologist, thinks that consciousness itself is a function of biochemistry. Your psychiatrist thinks that consciousness itself is a function of biochemistry, and when the body dies, the consciousness dies, and everything stops. Nonsense. It's nonsense. It's childish. It's juvenile. It's old-fashioned. It's outdated. And it's dangerous because it's inaccurate and it's incorrect. And that from the Department of Redundancy Department. Right? So, you know, the deal is that your body knows how to fix itself the same way that your body could grow itself all by itself from a single cell into you. It knows how to fix itself. But, you know, we don't live in the land of Oz where there's magic. We don't live in Harry Potter's world where there's witches and warlocks and muggles and magic. There isn't any magic inside the material world. Magic in its true definition. What exists inside the material world is cause and effect, nuts and bolts. You either have the stuff in your body that your body needs to optimize its function and structure, or you do not. There's either gas in the tank or there's no gas in the tank. What is it? There's either water in the glass or there's no water in the glass. You need water. You need gas in the tank. Well, guess what? Your body needs nutrition in order to optimize its structure and function. Well, Dr. Glidden, we get all the nutrition we can need from our food. No, we don't. Who told you that? Monsanto? Dr. Oz? The person who has no training, no clinical experience with medical nutrition? Is that who told you that? How's that working for you? It's impossible to get all the nutrition that the human body needs to survive and optimize its structure and function just from food. You can't do it. It's impossible. There are 90 essential nutrients that the human body needs. 60 minerals, things like calcium and sulfur and zinc. 16 vitamins, vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin E. You know the list. 12 amino acids. Taurine, right? Taurine. You've heard of taurine. You've heard of lysine. And 2 essential fatty acids, omega-3 and omega-6 essential fatty acids for a grand total of 90, 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, and 2 essential fatty acids. Do the math. That adds up to 90, which is why when you hang out in Longevity Nation long enough, you'll hear the phrase 90 for life. What does that mean? Well, it means in order for you to have a healthy, long life, you need to ingest in your body every day 90 essential nutrients necessary for life. 90 for life. Now, you do that, and your body has the raw materials that it needs to bounce back, to optimize its structure and function. You don't do that, it's only a matter of time until you run out of something and something breaks. And then you go to the only show in town, you go to the reductionistic, pharmaceutical-centrist, allopathic MD, and they throw a drug at your problem, the intention of which is not to cure the disease but to manage the symptom. And guess what? A couple months later, a couple years later, they need another drug, and then another drug, and then you need to up the dose, and then you get side effects, and then you need drugs for that, and then you go bankrupt, and then you die. Modern American medicine at its best. American schmerican. A modern worldwide medicine at its worst. You want a different outcome? You need a different methodology, and you have just found it. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, and this is Fire Your MD Now. Welcome back, everybody, to another live edition of Fire Your MD, a St. Patrick's Day edition. Oh, isn't that nice? So you're aware we have a new call-in number, right? It's toll-free 844 Dr. Glidden. That's Dr. Glidden. 844 Dr. Glidden. That comes out to 844-374-5433. 844-374-5433. That's 844 Dr. Glidden. Let's go to the phones and see what's cracking. Danica from Alberta is back, and we just spoke on Dead Doctors Don't Lie. Hey, Danica, welcome back. Thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hi there, Dr. Glidden. I guess it got cut off on the last call. I guess it was shorter than your radio show. So anyway, I'm getting ready to order some longevity products for my son and for myself. And for my son, do we still keep the same protocol of the anti-aging healthy start pack?
Yeah, absolutely. Plus the selenium, plus the ultimate daily, right?
And the immortalium as well?
Yeah, you can do that. It's a really great thing to do. I wouldn't change anything. One thing you might want to mess around with, and if this works, you're going to need an extra bottle, is increasing the white liquid calcium to see if you get any traction in the cardiovascular system with the blood pressure.
Oh, okay. How about Z-Radical? I think I sort of recall you saying to one of the kidney patients that perhaps to take Z-Radical. Does my son need some of that?
Well, the reason that we recommended Z-Radical was because of one of the reasons was because of the fucoidan that's in it, and that's in the immortalium in the same dose. Plus, there's more stuff in the immortalium. Now, you can certainly make the argument that the other stuff that's in the Z-Radical is also beneficial. So, if there's money in the bank and you can afford a couple of additional bottles of Z-Radical a month, then yeah, I would do that. Okay. But failing that, I would lean on the immortalium because you're going to get probably more bang for your buck from that than you would just specifically with the Z-Radical.
Okay, and the last question was apparently they took his thyroid readings. Just only one reading, and it read at 12, and they became very nervous over that. And the endocrinologist prescribed a Synthroid, right? Synthroid?
Yeah, well, all right. So you want to watch the webinar that I did on thyroid function, because the testing methodology that they use is old-fashioned and outdated, and the test that they use is TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone.
And we need the T3 and T4, which I don't think they did.
Yeah, and if you just do the TSH, you can do it at 8 o'clock in the morning, it'll be normal. You can do it at 8:30 in the morning, it'll be high.
Right.
So you just don't know. It's a stupid test. I don't even know why they do it anymore.
So he took 2 pills, stopped taking them. He went to see his nephrologist for his regular visit a few days ago. And the nephrologist said, I'm not too concerned. It's just, one reading or whatever. So it really angers me that they base everything on one reading, because your T3 and T4 can change from walking from your front room to your bathroom. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Really
so, what are you going to do, right? It's just more medical insanity.
So we're going to set that aside, the thyroid. We're going to concentrate on the rest of it, and then we're praying for more increase of the percentage of the kidney function.
Yeah, and meanwhile, you can...
I'm going to give you a good testimony coming soon.
Well, you're already halfway there, kiddo. So there's one more thing that you can do here, is you can just get educated on the subjective signs and symptoms of an underactive thyroid, right?
I've done that, yep.
And so just keep a heads up on that, and if he starts to exhibit more than one of them on a regular basis, then at that point in time have the free T3 and the free T4 checked, but otherwise it's nonsense. And don't you think it's telling that the person who is supposed to be the expert in the field, the endocrinologist, is not up to date with the literature? They're lazy. I mean, I knew this 5 years ago. Why don't they? Because they're lazy, and because they only pay attention to what the pharmaceutical reps tell them. The pharmaceutical industry pays $50,000 per doctor per year in information and samples. $50,000 per doctor per year.
I can't believe that they've lasted this long with all the shortcomings that have been going on here for how many years?
Well, that's why it's a ripe field for longevity members.
Right.
Because who needs our help? Everybody. Because everybody's been let down, and they've been let down by the MDs. The only problem is the average person on the street does not know that there's a different way that's been developed and delivered by licensed physicians. This is why we have a bright future, Danica. So enroll, baby. Enroll. And let me know what happens as we move forward. I'm looking forward to your testimonial.
Thank you so
pleasure.
Much for your perseverance and caring for people. I really admire.
Hey, that's what I do for a living, kiddo. You are welcome. Stick around, folks. Pennsylvania's next. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Everybody needs to know about longevity, because everybody is under-nutrified, and everybody is eating all of the wrong food all of the time. And, there's this big exercise fad. Everybody's into exercise, marathon runners, right? Every time I see the Boston Marathon or the Chicago Marathon or the San Francisco Marathon, I want to shoot myself. Because it's nuts. The guy that the marathon was named after, he was a Greek soldier, and there was a battle north of Rome or Athens or someplace. I should have looked this up before I start talking about it. But there was a victory, and they charged this guy to go back to the capital, Athens, I think, which was 23.5 miles away, 26 miles away, however long a marathon is, and carry the news of the victory. And he ran all the way, just ran, man. He ran 20-plus miles. He entered the city, ran up to the steps of the Capitol and uttered the word Nike, which means victory. Nike. And then you know what he did? He collapsed dead from a heart attack. Nike. Boom. So people are of absolutely incorrect assumptions about health. People think that exercise is good. It's not. It is suicide. According to the New York Times, which did a comparative study from the New England Journal of Medicine and the Journal of the American Medical Association, exercise increases your risk of heart attack by 600 times. Exercise increases your risk of heart attack 600 times. How about that? Bet you didn't know that. 400,000 people a year die as a direct result of net negative effects on their heart from exercise. That's more of the people that die in automobile accidents. So, why don't we have a national referendum on exercise? We have speed limits on the highway so that you don't die on the highway. So why don't we limit the amount of time that people can exercise? If we did, we'd have less heart attacks. Because people are of this backwards, insane, upside-down notion that exercise helps the body. Well, you feel better momentarily after exercise because of the endorphin rush. But what does exercise do? Exercise stresses the body. It stresses the heart, it stresses the lungs, it stresses the ligaments, the tendons, the joints, and the muscles. The intention of exercise is to exert stress on your physical frame. The idea being that post-exercise, the body will strengthen the tissue that it just stressed, which is completely out of step with how the MDs have been trained to think, and it's completely hypocritical for an MD to tell you to exercise, because their entire thing, their entire training is the body is a train wreck waiting to happen. The body does not have the ability to fix itself. The body cannot fix itself. So therefore, why would you stress the body knowing that, or hoping that, thinking that post-exercise the body is going to fix it? And then tell somebody, oh no, you can't regrow cartilage. Oh no, you can't help your liver. Oh no, you can't help your kidney. On the one hand, you're saying that the body can fix things after stress of exercise, but after the stress of life, it can't fix things. It's complete hypocritical baloney. But nobody holds their feet to the fire. They'll tell you, don't take a vitamin because you're just wasting your money. It gives you inexpensive urine. But if you're having surgery, stop taking your vitamins because we don't want there to be any effects on the surgical meds. Well, which is it? You can't have it both ways. Yeah, apparently if you have an MD, you can. I think we all have intellectual inferiority. I think we do. I think people look up to the MDs because they think that the MD is smarter than them, and they're not. And I think that's one of the trump cards that the MDs hold, is that, they operate under the false persona of being intellectually superior when they're not. They aren't any smarter than you or me. They're just other human beings. And, it's time we just started calling people, everybody, politicians, lawyers, police officers, right, about their hypocrisies. We need to just stand up and say, what? What's up with that? But we don't, for some reason. I don't know why. Is it human nature? I don't know why. I'd love to find the answer to that. I should have a psychologist on this show, and maybe we can sort this out. But in any event, the fact of the matter is, exercise stresses the human body, and the human body then attempts post-exercise to strengthen itself, right? You're supposed to make your muscles bigger. You rip the muscle tissue apart when you lift the weights, and then that night the body rebuilds the muscle tissue and makes it stronger, right? You stress the joint, the body makes it stronger. You stress the heart, body makes it stronger. But what does the body need to make all that stuff stronger? Fairy dust? Air? Water? No. It needs 90 essential nutrients. It needs calcium and magnesium and zinc and boron and phosphorus and sulfur and vitamin A and vitamin B1 and B2, B3, vitamin B5, vitamin B12. Needs all the amino acids and needs essential fatty acids. But you don't have this stuff in ample amounts in your body. You don't have it. So this is why you see kids, teenagers dying from heart attacks on the football field, dying from heart attacks on the soccer field, on the lacrosse field. And it's not because of bad genes. It's because of bad medicine, bad doctors, no biscuit. I honestly don't know what I would do if that had happened to my son when he was in school. Don't know what I would have done. Well, I tell you what, it wouldn't have happened to my son because he's been nutrified. So this is the thing, right? We think that exercise helps the body, and it doesn't. Exercise without nutrition is suicide. Exercise with nutrition, Superman, Superwoman. Because, it does stress the body, and the body does try to make itself stronger. And when you give the body the raw materials to make itself stronger, it makes itself stronger. And I don't know if you've ever been to one of these stores. You know, they've got malls, stores in malls all across the United States that are specialty markets for people who are bodybuilders, right? And you'll just, next time you're in the mall kicking around and you pass by one of these stores, just go in. Look to see what they've got. Vitamins and minerals and amino acids and essential fatty acids and vitamins and minerals and amino acids and essential fatty acids in all of these different combinations and formulations. That's what they sell to the bodybuilders because it works. I mean, bodybuilders measure results more than just about any other professional athlete. These people are extremely aware of their percent body fat, of their metabolic index. They're extremely aware of whether their bicep is a quarter of an inch bigger today than it was yesterday. They've got it dialed in. You think they'd be taking all of these nutritional supplements if it didn't work? Oh, it's got to be a scam. Baloney. Of course it works. They've got it dialed in. But I've got to tell you, they've got it, maybe 30, 40, 50% dialed in. Because the people who are smart enough to be taking nutritional supplements have overlooked one vitally important fact: minerals. We do not have ample amounts of minerals in the soil. We do not have ample amounts of minerals in the food. And there's only one nutritional supplement company that I'm aware of, and I've been doing this for 25 years. That's why I'm here with Youngevity, because I'm aware of this, and I want to back number one. There's only one nutritional supplement company that has an awesome mineral supplement that provides your body with all of its essential minerals, 100% in absorbable recipes, and that's Youngevity. So if you're a bodybuilder and you're taking your creatinine and you're taking your vitamin B12 and you're taking alpha-lipoic acid and you're doing everything else the way that you should be, and your carnitine in adequate amounts, in super amounts, and you want to take it to the next level, get a $19 bottle of Youngevity plant-derived minerals. One bottle of plant-derived minerals per 50 pounds of body weight per month. One bottle per 50 pounds of body weight per month if you're a bodybuilder. Add Youngevity's mineral supplements. It's called Ultimate Plant-Derived Minerals. $19 for one bottle. You're 200 pounds, you need 4. That's $80 a month. You can't afford that? Get one. Get one bottle. $19. Start taking an ounce a day. Of course, if you can afford your full body weight, then it's 1 ounce per 100 pounds of body weight per day. And then you tell me how you feel after a month. You tell me what your recovery time is like. You tell me what your workouts are like. You tell me what it feels like in a mineralized body. You're a marathon runner? Get the 90 essential nutrients into your body. You're a soccer player? Get the 90 essential nutrients into your body. You're a hockey player? Get the 90 essential nutrients into your body. You're a high school athlete? College athlete? Get the 90 essential nutrients into your body and tell me how you feel. You must feel better. You must feel a difference. This is biochemistry. Period. It's unarguable. It's academic. But my people are destroyed by lack of knowledge. Hardly anybody running marathons knows this. Hardly anybody knows it. And yet, they all think, oh, isn't my great? I have a 1%, body fat index. Yeah, and then you're going to get Alzheimer's because you don't have any cholesterol in your body, and your body is so completely nutritionally deficient. I'm surprised you can even breathe. But silly is as silly does, and, at some point in time, we just need to leave the dead to bury the dead. But all of this boils down to the simple fact that everybody in the world is your next customer. Everybody in the world is your next customer if you're a Youngevity representative. There is not one person in the world who does not need Youngevity. Well, the people in the world who don't need Youngevity are the people who already are taking Youngevity, but, it's semantics. They still need it. They're taking it. So the people that are already in Youngevity, they ain't your customers. right? But everybody else is. And so how do you show people the light of medical nutrition? Do you tell them all about Dr. Wallach? You can. They'll look at you like you're an idiot. They'll run away politely. Rather than tell them about it, point. Can you point? Can you point? I can point. Can you point? Look, you're struggling with high blood pressure. You have a heart disease. Really? You've got a kidney problem. You've got a chronic what? What is that name of that? I've never heard of that. I know a doctor who says you can support and promote your body's ability to optimize its structure and function with medical nutrition. Here, watch this DVD. Here, watch this webinar. Here, listen to this radio show. And starting tomorrow, by the way, you'll be able to watch this radio show. We're going to be live casting everything starting tomorrow. That's if Google accommodates us. We had a little problem with Google this morning. By the way, for those who are on the website, the worldwide live chat this morning, the problem was not on our end. It was on Google's end, and we sourced that out. That's what you call bad timing. Video casting, everything. We're going live. We're going worldwide. We're everywhere all the time. And all you need to do to turn your friends and family members on to what we're doing is point. And then point again and keep on pointing until people tune in. Pennsylvania really is up next, folks. Stick around. Welcome back, everybody. St. Patrick's Day. In the top of the second hour, I'm going to tell you how the Irish saved Western civilization. But right now, we're going to go to Lori in Pennsylvania. Hey, Lori, thanks for holding on. You are live.
Hi, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm good, but I'll get better. Thanks for the call. What's up?
Okay, I have a couple questions for you because I have two children that are sick.
Yeah.
The first one is she was born with a rare liver disorder called biliary atresia, and she'll eventually need a liver transplant in the future. But she's having a lot of difficulties with belly pain, and it has nothing to do with her liver. She's been, our labs and everything are almost totally normal to, a normal person.
Yeah.
But the belly pain seems to be like an acid reflux problem.
Yeah.
And they said that they could wrap her esophagus around her stomach to help with this because she has GERD really bad. But it would hinder the Kasai procedure that they did to save her life to begin with.
Yeah.
And they don't want to do that. And she's been losing weight.
Yeah.
And she's not eating properly.
Well, this is, all right, so let's just cut right to the chase here. I mean, your child is a perfect example of good doctor, bad doctor, right? Because they were able to do a surgical procedure because of the birth defect that saved her life. Thank God for that. But now, when it comes to this chronic thing with the gut, they're completely clueless. Now, here's a question that I want you to ask yourself. How is it possible for anybody, I don't care what their age is, to have a strong and persistent symptom and to have all of the diagnostic stuff come back normal? How is that possible? It's not possible. The only way that's possible is if the diagnostician has their heads up there, you-know-what. I mean, it's complete and utter failure on the part of the medical system juxtaposed against a remarkable effective treatment. So you just need to keep this in perspective moving forward. They're really, really good at surgery when surgery is absolutely necessary, and they're awesome at it. And we give them kudos all of the time because of it. But where they stink is for everything else, and your child is a perfect example. So from our point of view, Lori, the first, second, and third thing to do with anybody that's suffering from any type of a gastrointestinal problem is she has to stop eating the 10 bad foods, period. She has to stop eating the 10 bad foods. So do you. So does your husband. So do her daughter, her sisters and brothers, and everybody on the freaking planet. Stop eating the 10 bad foods immediately. No complaining, number one. Number two, if it is heartburn, if it is GERD, that's caused most of the time, the vast majority of the time, by a simple calcium and salt deficiency. There's a calcium and a salt deficiency at play here. And I did a really good webinar about this, by the way. Explains the whole thing. It's in the archives of my Insider subscription series. You may want to consider becoming an insider. It's just $20 a month. You'll have immediate access to over 100 hours of archived health webinars that I did. And the webinar that I put together about heartburn walks you through everything. It explains it very clearly. But the long story short is, it's a calcium deficiency and a salt deficiency. So the first blush intervention here to support and promote a healthy digestive tract is, number 1, eliminate the 10 bad foods. Number 2, give your daughter 1 healthy digestion pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. And for 1 or 2 months, give her 1 extra bottle of the white liquid calcium. It's called Beyond Osteo FX. Now, in the Healthy Digestion Pack, there's going to be 1 bottle of the white liquid calcium. But for 1 or 2 months, I wanted to have 1 extra bottle of the white liquid calcium to support and promote healthy stomach acid. So that's the Healthy Digestion Pack. 1 per 100 pounds of body weight per month. 1 extra bottle of the white liquid calcium per month. It's called Beyond Osteo FX. Eliminate the 10 bad foods and have her start salting her food so that it tastes good. She should experience slow and steady positive improvement. And listen, the liver is an extremely resilient organ. If you add selenium into her supplement program, 1 bottle of selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month, you may be very surprised at what happens to the liver in a positive light. So clean up her diet, nutrify her body, and look for improvement within 7-day time increments, within 1 week increments. We lean here on results. I appreciate your phone call. Second hour coming up, folks. Stick around.
All right, hold on here.